here we are. Bow Disciples podcast. Been the first one in a while that we've both been on. The last one had a guest feature, Mr. Travis from South Africa. And now you're back.
I'm back.
You're back.
I wasn't in Africa, so I'm back.
You'll be there next time.
One day.
We actually talk about it in the pod that I did out there, yeah. So that's going to happen. Albus is just, he's not much for privacy.
No, he's grooming himself.
He's grooming. But the podcast is monetized now, so you're making some shekels.
Yeah, making some big buckaroonies.
More than $2.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. And job hunt. Any update on the job hunt for the folks watching or listening on DSPs?
No.
Okay.
No, there was, and then tariffs kind of messed that up. So we're back on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll happen when it happens, when it needs to happen.
Yep. So anyway, anyone who potentially is hiring and needs a talented lady who pokes herself in those face of straws, go and reach out to Brianna. Are you going to apply for fun employment?
I don't know.
You might as well. You paid.
It's like next to no money, but
you paid into
I paid into it?
Of course. What do you think fun? What do you mean? So anyways, yeah, where to start? Obviously, went to Africa. You weren't able to come. We did pod after it, but not at all really about it. We were kind of talking about other stuff. And then we had, not very long, about a week, flew off to Oklahoma for the first stop of the year, as well as our first stop of Total Archery Challenge.
Yes.
And this is my 6th year going. So I've gone since 2019, so 6 years. And actually have filmed all 6 years, because we had, the channel had started in 2018, so we're filming in 19. What is, give me kind of your spark notes, the cliff notes, the review, the summary, if you will, of the journey to Oklahoma.
If I have to sneeze first, hold on. Great TAC. It is one I would for sure do again, and I highly recommend that other people do. Especially if you haven't done one before. I wouldn't, necessarily say maybe jumping straight into like the more difficult, bigger locations like Utah, or more mountainous like Montana or Colorado are the, maybe the best way to intro yourself into TAC. So courses in relativity to what we're used to, a bit easier as far as.
He's so cozy. They were still tough though.
They were
definitely tough. Yeah.
They definitely utilize, I think, the window shots and the technical ones more here, which are my preferred. Elvis, you are ridiculous. My preferred favorite shots. So I think there was a lot of fun, technical in the window between the trees, real sliver shots, right over that log, things like that. And then there's a variety still. There's so many courses there for where it's at. And I love the way they put the venue like right on the edge of the water for the vendor village. And they really pack them all in there. So, not only could you, mingle with people because it's so tight, but the vendors could, they could pop over to each other's and whatnot. And they had, because it's not at like a resort, so they don't have, a ballroom or a restaurant or something to do like their evening things in. So they did a concert one evening, and I thought that was super cool. The Swan Brothers.
It was something like that. Yeah, I saw it on the flyer.
Who were on The Voice.
Oh, wow.
We were joking about Blake Shelton at the You are a ridiculous dog.
He's liking just getting loved and pampered.
Yeah.
Because we just picked him up.
Yeah, he had a group.
So he was at daycare. He got groomed, and now we picked him up. So he's very
little princess.
he's very loving love and pets, and he's just a good, nice little boy.
Yeah. So, anyways, I thought it was phenomenal. And the town itself that it's in. First off, this town names everything after
Porking.
Yeah. Everything. Literally everything. Girls Gone Wine. Can you think of a couple? Creamy Wiener was one of the hot dog options.
I think you
had the Creamy Wiener.
I did. Pause. Yeah, I think I did.
I can't even think of half of them now.
Yeah, there was a bunch, but yeah, I mean,
But the town is amazing.
The town is
so much to do there, and for families, like
Very
you could either
aesthetic.
camp if you wanted to, or you can get an Airbnb, which are great prices, compared to some other locations we've been to. And you basically get like a little mini mansion, log cabin, but fully like remodeled on the inside for most of them. Now a lot of them have like kids playgrounds at them and whatnot. So if the family stays behind during a shoot day, they could, literally hang out at the Airbnb and have lots to do. Or there's bowling in town, there's petting zoos in town. Like, there's just so much to do there. Surprisingly, for being in the middle of nowhere. I'd say the only downfall was the fact that the closest airport is like a 3-hour drive in. So unless you're one of the local surrounding states and you take the drive in, the fly in, you're still going to have a rental car. You can't like Airbnb to a resort and then stay at the resort and walk over to, your ski lifts, because there are no ski lifts. So that's the only downside to it. But that should not deter, I think, anybody from going, because it's such a good one. So overall, excellent first TAC of the year. I'm very glad that we chose to go to that one this year. And now it's on to Tennessee in 2 weeks. 2.5, I think.
I thought you said 1.5.
Yeah, I think I had the dates wrong. I think it's 2.
Okay, well, 2 weeks, yeah.
I think, yeah. So, ready for that one too. Brittany will be at that one. And we're kind of going to get to go off and do our own thing while the boys mingle. And so that should be fun. So yeah, I'm ready to move on to the next TAC. And yeah, what was your take on it?
That's going to conclude this podcast. I'm kidding. No, I mean, I agree. I think the town was excellent. I think the venue was excellent. I think the vibes were super high. I think the weather was, almost as good as it could get. It was awesome. I think one of the things we should talk about, just because it ended up being kind of a funny little part of the trip, was the bachelorette party.
Oh, jeez, Martha. Yeah, you can't keep James away from a bachelorette party. If he sees one, it's like, a plus and minus magnet, positive and negative. He's just drawn to it. You can't stop him. They're gonna link up, and they did.
Oh, yeah. And then, so anyway, I go over there. I'm intrigued because the bride has a cast on, right? Kind of a soft cast, but nonetheless. I go over there, and I ask about the cast, and next thing you know, I'm chit-chatting with all of them, and then you get roped into hearing one's entire life story, and people at the bar just love, or the restaurant, because there was a lot of people from TAC there at the place, so everyone's kind of watching all this like chaos play out, and it was just a lot of fun, and then we were shooting early in the morning primarily, which was nice. You kind of beat the wind in the morning, which is very nice. And then we did make it over to the island on our last day. Our last course that we shot took the boat over there at 10, which was really cool. It was very windy if you were on certain sides of the slope, but luckily a lot of the course was on the non-windy side, so that was nice. Yeah, but overall, I thought it was really good. Got to interact with a ton of fans and just supporters of the channel, and believe it or not, the podcast. I heard a lot of people come up to me say they really like the podcast. One guy in particular was like, yeah, I'm a cop and I work nights and I always toss on the podcast and listen in my car. And, several people said stuff like that. So I thought that was cool. Kind of surprised me. And yeah, just excited for the next couple of stops. Tennessee will be great.
But coffee.
Pennsylvania will be great. And yeah, just overall, it's going to be a lot of fun. I would say you shot well. What?
I think I shot pretty well.
Shot really well. I
first
just
day.
did the video of the
That
first
was
day.
the
It's
that
really
was the
good.
first day,
Yeah.
and that's only half of the course.
Yeah, but you got second that day. Remember overall.
I did, and then I vastly fell off the bandwagon the next 2 days.
I don't really think you were all that bad, to be honest with you, but I do think our videos from this will be quite good. We did, I believe, what's going to turn out to be 7 videos.
That's some great new concepts.
Yeah, a lot. Every video's conceptual. Basically, every single one. I don't think one was just like a regular video. They all had kind of ideas baked into them. And this first one that when you're watching this podcast is actually out right now. If you're catching the podcast first and you're going to go watch it, make sure you have a couple of lollipops with you
Lollipops
when it
or
starts
pop.
because it's a fan interaction video.
Shoot along.
I'm calling it a ride along. A shoot along is maybe even better.
Yeah.
Should I switch it to shoot along from ride along?
Yeah, probably.
I kind of like that.
They don't ride moto bikes.
Yeah, shoot along.
Yeah.
Archery challenge, shoot along with Bow Disciples. That's a fun name. I probably will switch it. And we just worked on the thumbnail. Or we're about to work on the thumbnail. Video's uploading right now. So yeah, it's fun. Very awful to go.
Yeah, we could stop using that word, like 2 weeks ago. Not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. I've heard it enough. So anyways, we had a smaller group, though, this TAC than our usual plus-size group, which I kind of liked.
Oh,
It definitely made shooting through courses a lot faster.
It was nice.
Does make you kind of want to go out, which I thought was good because it made us go explore more this time around. So we went and we hung out with people at, the restaurant or distillery or brewery or wherever we went. But if you have the bigger groups, there's so many Airbnbs and there's so much that they have. And like we looked at one that had a shuffleboard. Ours had a mini pool table, which we never ironically even touched.
That's a bummer. But we definitely used the hot tub. I mean, I think every day except for one, we used the hot tub. And yeah, we tried a fairly good amount of the restaurants and options. Bow was great. I switched back to the Proven 34 for this one from the Virtue. So, feel good. That's the bow I'm going to be bringing to Tennessee and Pennsylvania, as I believe, is what I'm going to be running. And, yeah, it was just fun. A whole lot of fun. The only really mistake that I had shooting-wise was shooting back-to-back targets 10 yards shy on the tape.
Which I don't know if I've ever seen you do.
Well, here's what happened. So they happened to be the same distance, right? So I shot the first one was 49 yards. And I put it to 49. Shot is so dark because it was early. Didn't know. I just knew I missed, but I didn't know where. And then next target, come to it. It's 49 again. So I didn't move the tape. Shot it again, missed. Scott goes, buddy, something's wrong with your bow. There's no way you missed 2 shots back to back. He goes, shoot another one. So I reload another arrow, draw back. I look at my rest, look at all my stuff. I go, it looks good. If it fits, it ships. Put the pin on there. I group it right with my other arrow in the dirt underneath. I think that HLR might have even broke. And then I look at my tape and I go, I had it at 39. So I shot for 39 yards, 3 shots in a row on targets that were 49. And then other than that, the whole weekend only had one miss, and it was one where I hit a branch midway. You could hear it, tick, and then it went like steep, fell off.
It's a swan dive down to the dirt.
Yeah, I did a swan dive and never recovered that HLR either. So actually for me, is more arrows lost than normal at a TAC with 3, but 2 of them were goofy, you know what I mean? And then one was just like, you never know. You can always clip a branch like that, especially when shots are windows or whatever. It's not that I didn't see it. The trajectory was just happened to be wrong by just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
And then I think you only lost, so I broke or lost 3 HLRs, and you lost, what, 4 VAPs?
I think so.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Not
You
bad.
did smoke a lot of trees, though.
Well, a lot of arrows survived that, probably should have, but...
The VAP is durable, apparently.
It's durable if you, only put it about a half inch into a tree.
Yeah, you weren't getting
When I hit the ground, they didn't survive.
You were not getting much pen in those trees.
No. You could walk by and, like this, ding, and it would just fall right out of the tree.
Yeah. You were getting, like, half the tip of pen.
Yeah. But there were quite a few trees that saved me that it was like, by the grace of God, it landed into this, stick.
You did that,
tree that's, this wide.
You did that, at least 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
In those tiny trees.
Yeah. I don't know how, but it was it just wanted me to save my arrows. So.
And actually, Matt did that once, too, the day we did the 1 arrow challenge.
That it would have sailed as high as it was.
Oh, yeah. He would have been done on, target 3. He got so lucky. And that was a fun day, too. Well, I guess that was the second day we shot with him, but we ended up linking up and shooting with Ethan Burnham. I think it's Burnham, or it might be Burham, his last name, but we shot with him 3 courses?
Oh,
yes, 3 courses. Because he shot with us our last day.
In the morning.
And then bailed. But the day before, didn't we shoot together twice, or maybe just one? No, maybe just once. So we shot together.
Once. He shot the morning course with us.
So we shot 2 courses together with Ethan. Yeah. And he was awesome. Really good shooter.
Really good photographer.
Very fun vibes.
Yeah.
Really good photographer. So that was a heck of a lot of fun, too.
Yes, it was.
And
I think that's the only person that linked up with us this trip for shooting.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we almost had another one. My buddy Dylan C. Foster was going to come. I don't even think he was going to shoot. He was going to come out to Sitka Island with us to shoot photos. And he ended up getting caught up in a marathon or something like that. And he couldn't get to the boat in time. He said
we didn't see him running.
Well, it wouldn't matter. They were leaving anyways. Even Matt, they almost left him right there. I was like, he's right there. They're like, well, if he doesn't get here, we're leaving. He starts backing the boat up. So they would have left, but it sounds like a rom-com scene of us leaving and him just running down the thing trying to get there. Because I never saw him.
I didn't either.
But yeah, that was a bummer. But yeah, so only got to link with Ethan, but...
Now, where have you met him before? Because I don't think I've ever seen him before.
Ethan?
No.
Oh, Dylan?
Yeah.
Ooh, I met Dylan in, be honest with you, I think it was Montana TAC last year, I think is where I met him.
Oh. I was there. I don't remember that.
It was real brief.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. But I did meet him. Nice guy. Good guy. Really good guy.
Yeah.
And then Ethan I had met probably in 2021 or 2 maybe at Park City TAC.
Yeah.
Years ago.
He did it before they moved to Solitude.
Right. So him and I talked for maybe 5 to 10 minutes there, and I remembered it, and he did as well, because it was just kind of random, but it was a long time ago, and since then, we haven't ever, been at the same place at the same time, at least that I'm aware of, so it was a lot of fun to shoot, and just overall a very, very good vibe. Now, the other thing I think that we got to dive into on this pod, and remember, we're kind of keeping this one 45, 40 minutes. Not going to be the longest pod of all time, guys. I apologize. We've been burning the candle at both ends, baby. But we're getting it done. I want to hear, and I think the audience would like to hear, a little bit about your turkey hunting experience over the past couple of years.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, everybody. I love turkeys. They don't love me. They don't love me. So my turkey adventures here in California began about 2 years ago. And I started, I've shot turkeys before, but I've shot them in Florida and with a gun. James here, it's not about the gun life. So Not that he doesn't like them, he just always shoots with a bow. So, first time I went out about 2 years ago, it was during the fall season, and took a few sits, but I eventually shot a bird with my bow. All was good. He flew off, but I had broke his wing. When we got to him, how he even flew, I have no idea. But he basically flew up enough to like get some air over a fence and then crash landed in the neighbor's yard. So easy find. Well, so I'm like, I'm gonna go back out for spring season. No. I believe, my personal opinion, I always shoot at the same bird. There's multiple toms, but I believe it was the same tom. They're recognizable with their gobble and their beard. Like, they'll kind of have a little different length and fullness and whatnot to them. I believe it was the same turkey every time. So 3 different times I took a stab at this bird. One time we stalked up to it, and you were there for this one. That was the first arrow I launched at it. And we got up into these rocks, and it was only maybe 20 yards, maybe 25, down to this bird, which ironically, if you watch the video of my turkey hunt most recently out, when I shoot and something happens, those rocks you see behind it is where the bird was in the grass and I was up on the rocks for this time. So I thought I was going to clear underneath the tree, and just clipped one tiny little branch that set my arrow off to the dirt. So missed that bird. So in this same season, I go back out. Now I'm out with Ted. Get all amped up, and love Ted, but he really wants to get the footage, like there's no setting the camera up on the tripod and letting it be what it'll be. Like, he's trying to get over the shoulder, trying to get the zoom. All these birds are in here in the mix, and Ted's crawling around on the floor. I mean, crawling on all fours.
What a legend.
To try to get around behind me, and then he comes up. Ted's 6 foot tall in this blind. He's trying to stand and get the camera behind me. Most people know the size of a blind. It's pretty small. When you stand and you're in a draw, and I could stand in this blind, he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm hitting him with my elbow in the draw. That's how close he was to me. So it was just frantic. I shot the blind. I broke the little composite, fiberglass bar right in half. So that was another attempt at the bird. So then, go out again. This time I'm like, I'm not taking a shot unless he's right there, So they come into the little pasture behind us, and we're kind of peeking and looking every once in a while. It's like, he's not really coming in. I'm not going to shoot him at 50 yards. Well, then he works his way around, not a normal path they would take, around, or hadn't been, around this big pile of downed trees that have been there forever. And all of a sudden, he pops out in front of us and just wants to attack the decoy. So I'm like, this is it. This is my time. He's attacking the decoy. I got him now. I draw. I feel focused. Boom. I shot right at his, over his back. I think I shot at this bird twice. I did. So I actually missed 4 times. Because the first time I shot, and basically I think I might have clipped a toenail. So he kind of runs off, and I shoot again. And this is when all I got was one measly feather off of his back. And we're like, oh, maybe I got him enough to... This bird walks off, crosses the fence, stops, and starts strutting again and got one. I even called right afterwards. He just... He was perfectly fine. I was like, I'm done. I quit. I am not doing this. So I think I might have went out like one time this past fall season. And that was it. I don't even know if we saw anything, and didn't really hunt it much. So I was like, this spring, it's happening. It is happening. I'm getting a bird. And you can go watch the video to then see all that happens.
The rest of the story.
Yeah, that's all on film, and boy, does it, go just as poorly for a while as the last 2 years have gone. But eventually it gets it done. I was actually gonna see if I think I took it off the broadhead.
Is this it right here?
Oh, this might be it.
No, this is one of mine, I think. But yeah, I mean, it was a journey, and but yeah, we finally got it done for you, and we actually got a double as well, which is pretty cool. So
yeah, it makes my shot look like child's play. The video. It's very funny because we're making this video because I really want to capture finally getting a turkey after all of the drama and dilemma that I had gone through over the past 2 years. And, just like the javelinas, I'm like, James, are you going to bring your bow? The first day he comes out, he doesn't bring it. And he doesn't really care about turkey hunting, whatever. It's like no big deal for him. Meanwhile, the rest of the world covets turkeys.
Well, I shot a shitload of them, so.
Yeah, so,
Although the meat was really good. We'll have to get to the meal we made.
Yeah,
Keep
for
going,
sure.
Yeah.
But so you can, again, all of this is in the video, but finally the second day we got there, and mine provides an option. Now, granted, mine was walking at a decent pace, which,
not an easy shot either.
Not easy.
It was downhill, kind of a tough little angle. He was moving, and we couldn't really get him to stop. 30 yards it's not far, but it's not close.
For a turkey, especially, because they have such, one,
this is what I'm saying.
Small vitals. 2, there's a lot of feathers dropping that distort where you can believe the vitals to be, especially if they're in a half strut, puffed up, but not, fully strutted, fan out, which is even worse, especially if they start dragging their, feathers, their fans, or their wings. So, it wasn't an easy shot, but, then this one's just should I shoot one? Climbs out, and I won't say it because, we want you to go watch the video. And truly, the video is what you should watch because it doesn't even do it justice to what then took place. So, overall, phenomenal hunt. I will probably go out with Ted sometime in the next couple of weeks. And film him getting one. I don't want to shoot another one until we get Ted a turkey.
There's a lot to do and not a ton of time, because we got a little break now for a couple of weeks, but I got 9 more videos to edit. This podcast, so and then more podcasts, and then so much stuff we're doing for Bow Disciples Challenge between, making signs and different types of infrastructure. Simple stuff like learning how to use the card reader, doing an inventory to make sure we know what we have and don't have, promoting the giveaways and the vendors and the food vendors. It's going to be a lot, but I think you and Ted, that'll be awesome. You guys go turkey hunting and I can sit here and get these edits done. But, I think the podcast, is a good place to leak some of these, giveaways,
Yeah.
So we have a few. Last year we had a ton of giveaways. This year, by choice, we're doing less, but they're all big, good items, right? Just to simplify things, make it a little less messy, I guess you could say. Not that it was messy, but just a little.
It's just a lot more to track, you know, when people are putting into so many giveaways and so many to ship out and trying to get a hold of people. And
this is just smoother. So we're gonna have a Diamond Edge Max package bow. Really cool bow, great starter bow. You can give it to a kid, you can give it to a woman, you can give it to a dude with a 30-inch draw. 70 pounds to 15, I think. You can do anything with the Diamond, and it's really good. And then the other one is the Bowtech Solution LS, which is a really good bow. It's got deadlock. It's a flagship bow. So those are the two bows. And then our friends from Ultraview tossed in a UV slider sight again, which
3-pin.
yeah, 3-pin with the TAC bonus pin. Just as they did last year. Bowtech also did a bow last year. And Marsupial as well is going to be throwing in a Bino harness kit.
Kitted out.
Yep. So that's what we got so far, and I'd be very happy if that's all we do. Now, if we get some other stuff that's really cool, we may do a few more, but for just a start, super stoked with what we got. And the event is shaping up really good. We got 2 of the 3 courses mapped out. We're going to go up, I believe, in about, I think, a week, maybe a little more than a week to map the 3rd and final course. And then you and me are going to go up and do some content and some just course mapping, stuff like that within the next couple of days here. So it's definitely Bow Disciples Challenge season. Promotion's about to hit really, really hard for the next month. And yeah, I'm just excited for it. I'm excited for it. But it will be, I think, good for you to get in a little more turkey hunting as well.
Yeah, I do love turkey hunting. And we've got a lot of meat to still get through, so... if you have any...
Talk about that meal a little bit.
Yeah, so one, if you have any recipes that you've ever done with wild turkey, drop the comment below and let me know what it is, because I'm always a fan of trying different, you're pretty standard in your white rice and game meat.
Rice and meat, yeah.
I like to still, mix it up as if it weren't wild game, because you can do anything. It's like, a turkey is a turkey, a guinea hen's a guinea hen. That's still probably, for the most part, you can do anything you do with chicken.
That reminds me. Should we talk about the skit me and Travis did about the
Yeah, we can get to that.
sage
Yeah.
chicken?
So we did a crock pot slow cooker.
Mm-hmm.
You could call it a stew, I guess. I prefer, stew's a good word for it, but I prefer thicker, creamier stews, not like your watery stuff, more on the chili thickness side. But this was a white stew. So you use cream of mushroom with chicken broth, and then all your vegetables, and the turkey. And I do it on low for the entire day.
I thought we did high.
We did high because I wanted to make sure it really was rippable, because I know turkey can really tend to kind of rubberize when it's wild turkey. Now some people have said some things like soak the turkey in buttermilk for 24 hours. So that might be something that I try next time, but really looking for some other recipes for turkeys, because we've got 3 more breasts in there, and my turkey was a fatty.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, he was.
There's a lot of meat in there to do something with, so I'd love to try something new. But that was the recipe. It was great. We did it with...
it's really good.
Not pancakes, biscuits. Now, James has never done this before. I think it's very normal. I will usually, when I make a stew, I will either put it on top of, mashed potatoes or biscuits. Or chicken and dumplings, where you make your stew and then you do your dumplings raw on top and let them steam, and then you have chicken and dumplings. So I have just never had a stew where it doesn't have a grain substance with it. Even chili, I would make cornbread with the chili. I don't understand. I've never had that before. But anyways, I did it with biscuits. But looking for new recipes, so that was that. It was delicious.
It was.
And,
it was really good.
maybe I'll make my pot pies one day with some of it. Who knows? But if you have a new recipe, I'd rather try that. So yeah, maybe we'll make a recipe book one day down the line with all the different types of things. But yeah, talk about your...
I thought it was really good.
Your skits.
Skit was pretty funny, so it was the reason I thought of it was just because it's kind of cooking themed. But basically, we were on this safari, and I was trying to get this joke off And I couldn't. It was a train wreck. I was laughing so hard trying to tell the joke that it was like pandemonium. I finally get the joke out. And basically, it's that, how you cook a carp is like you butter it up and do all your seasoning on a board, and then you cook carp, and then you throw the carp away and eat the board.
So, did you hear this joke from them?
No,
this
from
is a joke
Ted.
you had.
I had it from Ted told me this when I was like 10 or something,
Okay.
and I thought it was so funny. And then I go, what's like a animal that y'all have? And they have these the like big old. They look like a bowling ball. This bird, I can't remember the name of it. I'd have to watch the skit. But basically, we do the
I think
entire
he calls it a guinea hen.
guinea fowl. Is that what it is?
Guinea hen.
Guinea hen. Okay. So anyway, we cook the whole thing. We do a slow motion montage. We got the saxophone play, and I freaking at one point, chicken gets spanked. It's like, it looks amazing, right?
The spanking is quite possibly the wildest part of the whole thing.
We got
I'm surprised you guys didn't start like massaging its thighs.
We got it oiled and buttered up, and then at the end, he like bringing the tray over, and you see me like ready to eat, right? And then it just last minute turns and goes straight in the trash bin. And then the punchline is that, you eat the board, right? And it was like,
I don't know if anybody got that from it, but it was funny.
I thought it was
because when you told me the carp joke, I was like,
you don't think it slaps that hard, huh?
not really.
See, I think it's such a banger joke, but
Yeah.
but
So here's my question. We can maybe end with this. I don't know.
yeah, let's do a
long enough?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing you,
Yeah.
and I know you,
Oh, I already know the question. Yeah.
did you retrieve the chicken from the garbage after filming and proceed to eat it?
Well, let me tell you something. So there is a little backstory production. So
I would like to hope you cleaned it and put a fresh bag in
this
it.
is what we did. So we pulled the trash out. We got a fresh trash bag, put it in the trash can, threw the bird away, pulled it out, and then ate the bird. And actually, let me tell you, here's actually the funniest part about it that you don't get in the skit, is like we put no effort into making the bird good. Like we're literally just like throwing seasoning for aesthetics and like different. We did not try at all to
Whatever
make the
those
bird
sauces were he put on there.
But I
looked
shit you not, the
phenomenal.
bird ended up being delicious, which is even funnier.
Now, was it a scented garbage bag? Like when you went to eat the bird, did
No,
it taste a little bit like Febreze?
No, that would have been funny, but I don't think it was. So anyway,
That's good.
it was a good skit. I've really been enjoying doing skits. Just put one out with Paige like today. Yeah, today, Tuesday, and I have at least one more with her and Elliot in the pipe. Maybe even, I think I have one with me and Elliot ourselves, and one with me, Paige, and Elliot left to do. And I had thought I accidentally deleted them, which I was bummed.
Thank goodness you didn't, because those were
They're funny.
funny.
They're funny, yeah, so thank goodness I didn't. But yeah, anyway, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for doing the pod. Thanks for being just an absolute gem. And everyone be sure to subscribe to the podcast and the main channel. We're about to hit 100,000 subs. And we are planning to do a 100,000 subscriber party. Which we will hit by Bow Disciples Challenge 3.
For sure.
But we're going to do the party likely in June. A separate thing where you can just meet up at a public location and have a good time. So,
Yeah, and I would say that's open to the public.
Yeah,
right? So
totally.
if you're within a local
Yep.
3-hour
Yeah.
driving distance,
Come on
and you
up.
feel you want to make the trip,
Have a couple pops
the
and
more
some
the
food.
merrier.
Yep, absolutely. So that's what we got going, and we will see you guys in the next pod next Wednesday.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.